Hello, it appears I'm having some trouble shooting videos. My phone keeps on going into shorts, so we're just gonna hopefully get right into it. Hopefully this thing doesn't freeze. Where is the window for this? Okay, so we got cut off there. So so it's basically discussing it's something in verse one saying that there's something that I cannot see, like rules and regulations. Um, the Basically what it means is that you can't see the rules and regulations is one way of looking at this. Um, and so rules and regulations are not posted everywhere because in secret societies they're not explicitly stated out they're not explicitly written down anywhere typically. And this is because Albert Pike, which I learned this knowledge from Robert Seffer on his YouTube channel, is that high-ranking Freemasons and Illuminati developed an ancient way of talking without speaking, because as God confounded the languages, a way of talking without speaking was developed to keep international order and to keep group order, or to keep an order of an international group, let's say, that has had their languages confused. And so basically, that's one way of looking at why the rules regulations are something that you cannot see as well, and you can apply that the lyric of something that I cannot see to like rules and regulations. And so passed down for generations, this has been going on and on for a while, is what that kind of means. And also demonic possession has been passed down for generations until Christ comes back, basically passed down for generations and generations. And so this song's not really about this person having their own personal flag. This next lyric kind of says, like, talking about their own flag, they wish they had their own flag. But this isn't really about a person who has their own flag at all. This has nothing to do with a personal flag. This has to do with national flags. So nations don't have their own flags. They instead have flags that have been inspired by people who are either demonically possessed or by people who are very high-ranking members of secret societies, all of whom have a group agenda that they're trying to create globally. And so that's kind of the gist of it. And then there's other part where it's like goes to a bridge, and it's like, as I walked away, I could hear you say, it's probably talking about a random invite for this person. And and basically what that means, a person who probably didn't want to get into a random invite. So anyway, long story short, so let's take a look at some flags here real quickly before this video cuts off. Okay, so these are the flags of Muslim countries. And right now I happen to be sitting under the American flag because it is the 4th of July, of course, and I am at a public park. Anyway, let me see if this will actually load up. Here we go. Okay, so these are flags of Muslim countries. You can see that there's they have a common theme of a crescent star and a crescent moon and a star. So what that kind of means is that some people, Muslim scholars, sometimes think that this has to do with Ramadan, but in my opinion, this does not have to do with Ramadan. This has to do with sacrifice. Believe it or not, it has to do with something that was started out in North Africa by the Phoenicians a long, long time ago in antiquity, and it has to do. Part of it might have to do with Ramadan. Let's put it that way. Maybe part of it has to do with Ramadan, but the other part of it, Muslim scholars can't pinpoint, they can't agree that it all has to do entirely with Ramadan, and they have trouble verifying that it entirely has to do with Ramadan. But what it kind of has to do with, what I was saying before, which is it has to do with human child sacrifice by the Phoenicians, in North Africa, and which spread globally a bit in antiquity. And so this kind of shows you, it's basically, this is the bullseye of the Aldebaran star. The Aldebaran star lines up in a bullseye, and it forms a bullseye with the crescent moon at a certain period of at certain periods in time. And this was actually occurring locally here, in which we had women sacrificing their kids here in Oregon, let's say, and also nationally, bringing that energy of human sacrifice towards basically the bullseye in Aldebaran, just like they did in antiquity. And so the thing is, they scrubbed the internet of what essentially amounts to the ability to find these the symbol, or not the symbol, to find basically steals with this on it. But I luckily, if I can get my other phone going up over here, I have pictures that I took of these steels, basically a long time ago, and I kind of like archived them so this way you can kind of see where you can kind of see the the what they're trying to go for, basically, yeah, or the other meaning behind these flags, which is sacrifice to the Aldebaran constellation, the bullseye, because what it does is, like I said, the crescent moon lines up with Aldebaran, the star Aldebaran, and it becomes a bullseye, is what they call it, is what it's called. And so let me try to see if I can get my real quickly. Let me see if I can get my other. If I can get my. Here we go. Okay, so this is basically the a steel of it of the bullseye. You can kind of see here you have a woman with her legs spread, and then I don't know what exactly is written there, but that's the crescent moon on top, with the star of Aldebaran up there. Okay, so we have that one, and then we have some other ones here. They basically scrub the internet of these steels, of these relief carvings, and so these relief carvings are very difficult to be viewed anywhere because they hid them from everybody. This is another one. You have a flower there to show fertility, and a woman with her legs kind of spread open a bit to show childbirth. And so we have that one, and then we have some others here. I've just let me get it. Let me try to line this picture up a bit more. Okay, this one is a. This one's kind of hard to see. Okay, there we go. You can kind of see the same kind of thing. Again, you see a crescent moon there. Let me try to increase the brightness of. Okay, well that's not that big. You kind of see the same thing again here. And then we've got. Let me try to focus my phone a bit. There we go. Okay, yeah, you can kind of see the same thing there. And then we also have this one where you have them on a boat, and it's kind of ironic that, or not ironic, it's kind of like, goes with people. People are kind of like ships, as Enter the Star says on his channel. We're born in water. We have ribs like a ship, and we have it also has to do with the fact that it's a North African, this derived in North Africa, and Carthage had a major port. So we have that, and so that's kind of these are kind of where they got the bullseye from, and this is kind of like the this is, to show this again. This is the symbol that, well, on top here. This is the symbol that you see on Muslim national flags. You see this symbol, this crescent moon and star, on all the Muslim national flags, and so this is kind of like where it comes from. Is this so? Anyway, so that's kind of it for these videos, or at least, well, that's kind of it for that part of the video. Let's see if this thing doesn't cut me off and I can shoot the rest of this. And so, let's see if I can remove that. Okay, there we go. And one more. We'll go over one more flag, and then we'll just probably cut this video off. This phone's kind of like an antique, so it's very, very slow. It just doesn't want to process hardly anything really fast. I'm going to try to go for one more flag. This is the. Let me see if this thing's still recording or not. Oh, okay, this thing's still recording. Good. Okay, this is the national flag of Venezuela. Okay. Oh, let me see if the let me see if I can get that flag back. Okay, so this is the national flag of Venezuela. You see a red earth, which probably symbolizes and or represents the earth on fire, let's say, and or the ground. It represents, let's say, the end times, maybe, how the earth is, potentially parts of it might be covered in a bit of lava here and there, but not too much of it, let's say. It also has to do with, you see the red and blue on this flag too as well, in which you have, as I went over in the other series of my other previous videos on national flags, the red and blue, what the red and blue means in many of the national flags. It's a motif that's in many different national flags. So you have that. So the red might represent the earth a bit, let's say. And above that, you have the blue firmament, and you have the stars in the firmament, which are the stars wrapped around in a dome, basically, which is what we have here. Um, and then so above that you have yellow, which is basically the cube of heaven and or the throne of God, basically. Uh, the throne. Some people think the throne is surrounded by fire and also has a lot of light too, because what's up above has a lot of light. But this is past the stars of past the 88 constellations, which are mostly, as Enoch 18 says, are demons entombed there. Past the, let's say, the blue firmament, which is the blue dome here. Past that, you have the yellow, which is the throne of God, basically, the cube of heaven and the throne of God, basically. And the red could also represent, you know, the human sacrifice, the blood sacrifice required to get there, because in the end times, there's many examples of there being less flesh left, and that's a dark future. But that could be one of many ways in which things go down. But they might not go down that way, because there's still a lot of people still alive right now, but we're only in the beginning of the end times. This is not really we're not really too far into the end times, and some of this stuff might not even happen. Some of the I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but for people who are going with God here, but some of the stuff might not even happen because too many people know what's going on, and which is why they basically have almost why they've kind of gotten people who they basically are restricting the truth at this point too, as well, to people of what's going on. And a lot of the truth is actually very hard to believe because it's put in visual voodoo, and it's put in creatively into major media. So anyway, I'm going to cut this video short, and I hope you all have a good day and enjoy the 4th of July. All right.